Have you ever wondered why some people seem to build wealth steadily while others work just as hard, pray just as faithfully, give generously, yet never seem to get ahead? Most Christians assume the Bible only teaches people to avoid greed or be content with what they have. But what if one of the greatest financial lessons in Scripture has almost nothing to do with getting rich, and everything to do with how you think about investing? The surprising truth is that Jesus spoke about stewardship, growth, multiplication, and long-term responsibility far more often than many people realize. Missing this lesson could quietly cost you years of financial opportunities without you ever noticing. By the end of this video, you'll understand the biblical investing principle that many believers overlook. You'll see why fear can become a financial trap disguised as wisdom. You'll discover how Scripture encourages faithful stewardship instead of passive preservation. And near the end, we'll look at a real-life example that shows how one simple mindset shift changed a family's financial future without chasing risky schemes or overnight success. Money has always been emotional. Every paycheck carries hope. Every unexpected expense brings stress. Every investment decision feels like a choice between security and uncertainty. Many Christians respond by avoiding investing altogether. They save a little, keep cash sitting idle for years, or convince themselves that building wealth is somehow less spiritual than simply getting by. Others go to the opposite extreme. They chase quick profits, speculative trends, viral investment tips, or promises of easy money that appeal more to greed than wisdom. Neither path reflects the balanced picture we find throughout Scripture. The Bible never promises that every investment will succeed. It never encourages reckless risk. But it also doesn't celebrate fear disguised as faithfulness. Throughout Scripture, we repeatedly see a God who creates, builds, plants, waits, multiplies, harvests. The pattern is rarely instant. Growth usually requires patience, responsibility, wisdom, and time. One of the clearest illustrations comes from Jesus' parable of the talents in Matthew 25. A master entrusts different amounts of money to his servants before leaving on a journey. 2 servants put those resources to work and produce more. The third servant hides his talent in the ground because he is afraid of losing it. When the master returns, he praises the servants who acted responsibly with what they had been given. The servant who buried his talent is not corrected because he failed to become wealthy. He is corrected because fear kept him from being faithful with what had been entrusted to him. This is where many people misunderstand biblical investing. The point of the parable is not that every Christian must buy stocks, own businesses, or maximize financial returns at all costs. The deeper lesson is stewardship. God entrusts resources, opportunities, skills, time, relationships, and yes, money. Faithfulness often means using those gifts wisely instead of allowing fear to freeze them. Think about 2 people with identical incomes. One spends every extra dollar because tomorrow feels far away. The other consistently sets aside a portion, learns about investing carefully, avoids emotional decisions, and allows small amounts to grow over decades. Neither becomes wealthy overnight. But after 20 or 30 years, their financial lives look completely different. The difference is not luck, it is stewardship practiced consistently. This perspective also changes how we define investing itself. Investing is not simply buying financial assets. Every wise decision that creates future value reflects the same principle: learning a valuable skill, starting a business carefully, improving your education, building healthy relationships, developing discipline, even teaching your children sound financial habits. These are all forms of investing because they sacrifice something today for greater fruit tomorrow. But there is one detail hidden inside Jesus' teaching that most people completely overlook, and once you see it, you'll never read his financial parables the same way again. That overlooked detail is this: the faithful servants were not praised because they produced the exact same result. They were praised because they were faithful with what had been entrusted to them. One servant earned 5 more talents. Another earned 2. The master responded with the very same words: "Well done, good and faithful servant." The reward was based on faithfulness, not comparison. That single truth changes the entire conversation about biblical investing. In today's world, people constantly compare portfolios, salaries, businesses, and lifestyles. Social media makes it seem like everyone else is getting rich faster. Someone bought Bitcoin years ago. Someone else built a $1 million company before turning 30. Another retired early. Comparison quietly creates two dangerous emotions: pride if you're ahead, discouragement if you're behind. Scripture points us toward neither. Instead, it calls us to be faithful with what is actually in our hands. That means your investing journey does not need to look like anyone else's. For one family, faithfulness may mean consistently contributing to a retirement account every month. For another, it may mean paying off high-interest debt before investing aggressively. For a young entrepreneur, it may mean reinvesting profits back into a growing business instead of upgrading to a luxury lifestyle. For someone approaching retirement, wisdom may mean protecting what has already been built instead of chasing higher returns through unnecessary risk. Biblical investing is never about copying someone else's path. It is about making wise decisions with the resources God has entrusted to you. This is why Proverbs repeatedly connects wisdom with patience. Wealth gained hastily tends to disappear, but wealth gathered little by little increases over time. That principle feels almost boring in a culture obsessed with instant results. Yet it may be one of the most powerful financial truths in the entire Bible. Small decisions repeated consistently often accomplish what dramatic decisions never can. Consider the difference between planting an orchard and buying fruit at the grocery store. Buying fruit satisfies today's hunger. Planting trees requires effort with almost no immediate reward. You water them, protect them, wait through seasons when nothing appears to happen. Then one day those same trees begin producing fruit year after year. Investing works much the same way. The early years often feel slow. Progress seems invisible, but time quietly becomes one of your greatest allies. Many Christians unintentionally interrupt this process because they become impatient. They invest for a few months, then stop. They save for a year, then spend everything on unnecessary upgrades. They panic when markets fall. They become excited when everyone else is excited. Their financial decisions follow emotions instead of principles. Yet Scripture consistently warns against being driven by fear or greed. Wisdom remains steady while emotions swing from one extreme to another. This also explains why contentment and ambition are not enemies. Some people assume that being content means never trying to improve their financial situation. But biblical contentment does not forbid growth. It simply removes desperation. You can pursue excellence without being controlled by money. You can build wealth without making wealth your identity. You can invest wisely while remembering that your ultimate security does not come from your portfolio. It comes from God. When money becomes an idol, every market decline feels like a personal crisis. Every missed opportunity feels unbearable. Every financial success becomes a measure of self-worth. But when money becomes a tool of stewardship, your perspective changes completely. Wealth is no longer something to worship. It becomes something to manage wisely. Instead of asking, "How can I get rich as quickly as possible?" you begin asking, "How can I become more faithful with what I already have?" That question alone often leads to far better financial decisions over a lifetime.